No. Uh, what did that one for now? Okay. Remove, yes. Add text. Nick and Frank discuss politics. Okay. Sweet. So, we're currently live.
Hmm.
Live streaming.
No, that's a shame.
So,
Hmm. So Pokemon Go's coming out.
yeah,
July.
that should be interesting.
The hype is real.
Do I have... Am I live? Where's the link? There it is. Cool. Post. So...
Which Twitch are you using?
I'm using YouTube.
Reggie4222? Oh, you're using YouTube.
I'm streaming to YouTube.
Fancy motherfucker.
Hear the vacuum rolling around out there. So, what we want to talk about is right now what's going on is a filibuster. Uh, it's being led by a senator, a Democratic senator from Connecticut. I'm sorry if you didn't hear my vacuum, 'cause someone's vacuuming in the middle of the day.
Like a normal person, would you prefer them doing that at 3 a.m.?
Yes, because I might be asleep.
Hmm.
But a senator from Connecticut is currently filibustering on gun reform. As I possibly understand it, what's going on right now is they're going to be passing a spending bill, and on the topic of that spending bill, there are amendments on gun reform, and I believe this filibuster is in place right now to encourage Senate Republicans to vote on the amendments and to vote positively. These amendments would do things to stop citizens or people in general who are on the terrorist suspect watch list from purchasing firearms, guns, and it would also include mandatory background checks, universal background checks everywhere. At any place you buy a gun. I'm going to make it illegal to sell it without. Now, in my mind, the latter part of that is common sense. What do you think about that, Frank?
Ideally, yes. Realistically, slim. Chances are slim at best.
Are you talking chances of it passing or chances of it being effective?
Even if it passed.
You're talking about if it were passed and it will be unideal to be upheld?
Yeah.
Because sellers would ignore that in places like gun shows and personal sales.
No. Money. People will cut corners. That's how it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I think that's kind of ridiculous. Because I think it just allows situations like what's been going on to happen. Because some people are going to take a look at that and they're going to say, "Oh, people are going to cut corners, sure." But then there are going to be people who are going to say, "People are going to cut corners. Criminals are going to get guns anyway, so why ban guns?" That's their logic, right? Do you agree with that?
Mm. The black market does exist.
Black market does exist. So I don't think this argument is going to apply to an argument between me and you, but an argument. One of the other really controversial topics out there is abortion, right?
Mm.
So if you look at abortion, people are saying, "Oh, well, it's immoral," or whatever their arguments are. And we look at it. Well, could the logic not be applied there too? Could we not say people are gonna get abortions regardless of whether or not it's legal, but we want it to be safe? That's why abortion is legal. So when it comes to gun universal background checks, and we say, "Oh, well, criminals are gonna get the guns anyway. They're gonna get the guns regardless. They're not gonna care about the rules." Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they
Oh
are.
no, I'm not talking about the criminals. I'm talking about the people who own the store.
Oh, you're talking about the people who own the store and sell the
No,
guns.
they'll drag their feet on it.
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
On top of that, things will probably take forever to get updated.
That's true. They would. Um, Personally, I think it'd be worth it. I think universal background checks should have been a thing. I also think the Second Amendment is. I'm getting a lot of flack for this. I think the Second Amendment is a little bit outdated, and that's not to say it should be overturned. I'm saying it should be updated, not destroyed. People out there, there's a misinterpretation that liberals and Obama and all of these people are going to take away our guns or destroy the Second Amendment or trample all over the Second Amendment, but I don't know who's trying to do that. And we should probably get that out of the way first. No one ever is, in their right mind, is saying take away all guns or destroy the Second
Yeah, the
Amendment.
only way that's gonna happen is if someone starts shooting up the Senate.
Yeah. But do you know anyone who's ever said, "Hey, take away all guns"? Do you know anyone who's ever said that? Or destroy the Second Amendment?
No, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
That's why that argument is so ridiculous to me, which is why I think the Second Amendment is a little bit rusty. Because at that time, technology, I think a lot of the Constitution has the potential to be rusty. Because when it was developed, we barely discovered electricity. I think not till after, anyway. With a lot of the earlier amendments, like the Bill of Rights. I think it needs to be updated with more amendments, I suppose. It completely can be updated. Look at prohibition. There's one saying alcohol's illegal, and then a later amendment saying it's not. No one's saying get rid of the Second Amendment. No one's saying put in an amendment that's going to overturn the Second Amendment. And no one's trying to take away all guns.
Doesn't matter. If you try to modify it, NRA won't like it.
That's the NRA.
What?
That's the NRA, and I don't agree with the NRA, and I don't agree with the lobbying. I particularly don't agree with lobbying in general in the Senate and the House.
I honestly don't care.
With the NRA or with lobbyists?
Doesn't matter. I think the only way they'll figure it out is when they get shot at.
I think you're right, but I think as a supposedly civil society, we should be preventing that. We should be preventing more attacks like the Orlando shooting from happening. Hasn't there a discussion on this been going on for 4 years, ever since Sandy Hook? And
No,
probably
much
before that?
longer.
Much longer, indeed. But this is when people start coming out. And what I don't understand is people
No, they
say
don't. They didn't just start coming out then.
that's when
This
a lot
always
of it
this
did.
happens
I know this
whenever a
happens. I'm
tragedy
saying this is where
occurs.
a lot of it happens. Because when 9/11 happened, right, and the Twin Towers were hit, we said, excuse me, we banned things. You know how strict airport security is now. Because we don't want people taking over our airplanes. Airport security is so strict you can't even, you can, like, you're gonna get checked like 5 times over just to bring a bottle of shampoo on the plane in a bag that's not even in your possession. So what I'm looking at this is, well, if we upped airport security to almost the maximum after 9/11, in the years after 9/11, why have we not upped gun security at least to the point of background checks required everywhere and enforced by law after all these terrible shootings?
Because nothing big enough to really make that happen has happened yet.
What about this?
No,
50 people
man,
dead, more than that injured?
nothing. Sorry, I'll be the harsh asshole, but I'm also realistic. That's not going to sway the Senate much.
Yeah, well, it's taking a filibuster right now to keep them even there. Thin White Male is in my chat. He's saying it's too expensive.
Yeah, it's too expensive. That's why we spend how much on the fucking military?
Exactly. I think we spend way too much on the military. But I understand it's expensive. I understand it would cost a lot of money to enforce the
Hold on.
rule.
Hold on.
Hold on, what? Frank? Well, we're gonna wait for a moment. I'll respond to that in a second, Thin, but we're gonna wait for a moment for Frank to come back. I think someone's come in his room.
Sorry about that.
Oh, welcome back. What's that about?
Oh, hold on again.
Okay. I'm not ignoring you, Thin.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to explain things to my dad.
Okay. So Thin in my chat right now is saying the cost of putting up regular checkpoints to check for guns is too high for a success rate that will be relatively low. Then there's the issue of how and where is deemed a good place to check people.
Before they get to a place where they can start shooting would be advisable.
I want to respond to this first point. The cost of putting up regular checkpoints to check for guns is too high for a success rate, which will be relatively low. Do you think, Frank, do you think that putting in universal background checks is going to, or having them be legally enforced and logistically enforced, is going to not yield that many positive results?
It might for a little while, but terrorists will adapt. It's easy. People fake IDs, passports, everything.
That's true. I think this comes down to people's willingness to uphold current laws. To be stricter. I mean, am I wrong there?
Yeah, that's why it's never gonna happen. It might happen for the first short while. Then people start bitching about it.
So is there a way that we can work on this? Because there are a lot of people saying, well, good guys with guns are what stops bad guys with guns.
Sure, I know how we can do it. Get another 9/11. That's about it.
Yeah.
Sounds awful to say, but
No, I
honestly,
know what you mean.
that was literally the only thing that got this fucking country to get off its lazy ass and do something for a change.
TBH, if this guy isn't a generalization of all Muslims, why is he becoming a generalization of all gun owners?
Yeah, simple. People tend to like to categorize things, just how we are.
I'm not really looking at this guy as a generalization of all Muslims or a generalization of. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's called the general
Finn
public.
just posted in my chat, here comes Dat Boy, a frog emoji and a bike emoji. God damn it,
Dear.
I'm not looking at this as a generalization of gun owners, and I'm not describing this as a generalization of gun owners. I'm looking at how many shootings we've had so far this year.
Mm.
I'm not, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, what is my dog barking at now? I'm not looking at this as a guy who's like, oh, this guy, he's Muslim, he attacked people, let's, all Muslims, blah. Or this guy, he had a gun, let's attack guns, blah, 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 gun owners. I'm aware that there are good guys with guns out there. I'm aware that they're probably outnumbering the good guys, or the bad guys with guns, as are the good Muslims who are kind and not terrorists, which are a majority, compared to those who are radicalized and use Islam to disguise, I don't even know how to describe it, disguise their pointless hatred.
Mm. Well, you see, the thing is, general public's ignorant.
That's true.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm ignorant about some things.
I'm gonna be the first to admit that I'm not the most up to date. I'm most up to date on a lot of things, political wise, and it is hard for me to keep up with a lot of political things. So I don't know the exact number of shootings there have been in the past year.
Oh,
I
plenty.
don't know what kind of gun this guy had, although there's people in my comments on my response video that...
I believe he had an assault rifle.
See, I keep seeing AR-15, or
Yeah,
a
that's what I've
likewise
been
model,
hearing.
but I guess
Good
it's
gun.
still pretty recent. We don't know exactly what he had, what all the facts are of this thing. We're still learning stuff today. But I mean, I'm being told that maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm relatively sure there was a good guy in the crowd with a gun, an off-duty
Yep,
cop.
police officer, guard.
Yep.
He was
Okay.
some job of security.
That's what I
He
thought.
He got shot pretty early on, I believe.
Because it's an AR-15 versus a concealable handgun.
Doesn't matter. Gun is a gun. A bullet through the head is going to do the same. A bullet in the head from a pistol is going to do the same thing as a bullet in the head from an AR.
He had a
I don't see
semi-AR,
why people use that as an argument.
a
in
semi-AR
the
and
range-
a Glock is what he says. Is what Thin says. The dude who's shooting.
If it was more distance, if it was more of a distance battle, then it would start to make difference. But at the range you were, doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can shoot with a fucking crossbow.
So Thin is saying he had a semi-AR and a Glock. I
Not
don't know
bad.
too much about either of those.
Assault rifles, easy. Glock,
It's a handgun, isn't it?
yeah. Depends on the Glock though. Could be Glock 17, Glock 18. Who knows? Regardless, a good gun.
So do you think, Frank, do you think an average citizen, everyday citizen, has any real reason to possess a semi-AR or an AR-15 or any of that? Assault rifles or semi-assault rifles?
Depends.
On what?
If they're a competitive shooter, to start with.
Glock 17, according to reports.
Glock 17. Semi-auto. Good gun.
What's the difference between a 17 and an 18?
18, I believe, can go auto.
Oh, okay. Then I can see why that would probably not be a good thing, because I'm pretty sure automatic weapons are banned, aren't they? In my mind, it
Banned, probably, maybe banned in legal markets.
legal, of course.
Hmm.
I mean, in my mind, if we made guns like these, not like a handgun or maybe a hunting rifle, but I'm talking about like the ARs and the semi-ARs,
Oh, they can be hunting rifles.
things. Okay, but I'm talking. I'm what I'm saying is I'm not talking about rifles that are specifically hunting rifles. In what I'm about
Hmm.
to say, I am talking about assault rifles, semi-assault rifles, things that are extremely powerful with this kind of capacity. I mean, I know when I say something like this kind of killing capacity, any gun can have the capacity to kill and injure 100 people, but obviously with a semi-AR and a Glock, it's going to be a lot easier than with a. I don't even know other guns. What? Give me two other guns.
Shotgun, sniper, heavy machine gun, light machine gun, SMGs. Yeah, grenade launchers, rocket launchers.
I don't pretend to be knowledgeable on guns. I don't personally care. I've shot BB guns, that's about the extension. Once or twice I have shot my friend's something, I don't even know what it was called, at a shooting range. So I don't pretend to be knowledgeable on guns, and I don't pretend to be like, oh, well, you know, clearly this gun has this many rounds or this many shots in a
Yeah, I
clip or
don't know
whatever the hell
details
that
like
is.
that. I'm not particularly very well versed in guns, but I am interested in them.
But am I correct in assuming that a semi-AR can probably fire more rounds per clip
A semi
than like an average handgun?
depends on how fast you can pull the trigger.
I'm not talking about time-wise. I'm talking about a larger capacity in the clip size than an average handgun.
Yeah, usually. Uh,
Which is why I'm
AR,
wondering, outside of military or someone trying to kill people, such as in Orlando, why anyone would need that clip size. Unless you're just trying to unload it into people.
meh. I mean, it was probably if you got it legally, it was probably civilian grade.
Do we know if he got it legally? Do we know any of that?
I don't know.
I
Let me
mean,
check.
I don't even know where I would look for that. Did he get it legally or illegally?
Let's find out. Mm-hmm. No, this is gonna be fun.
Legally. His guns were
Legally,
obtained legally, but as.
then it was civilian grade.
Okay. There isn't anything in state or U.S. law that would have prevented the Orlando shooter from legally purchasing the weapons the authorities said he bought just days before he set out to conduct the worst, shut up, the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. Federal authorities say that Omar Mateen was armed with a SIG Sauer .223 semi-automatic rifle and a Glock 17. A handgun that authorities believe Mateen may have used in his job as a security guard was also found by law enforcement officials as his car, but not used in his mass shooting. He had been twice on the FBI's radar list of suspicions of terrorist activity. Now, when I looked into this, and I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong here again, everything I say could be wrong, and if it is, tell me. Not demeaningly, like some of the people have been doing in my response video. They're just being like, oh, you idiot, well, it's obviously this. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me. But this guy was put on FBI watch list, as far as I know, for public statements in support of ISIS. Now, when I say public statements in support of ISIS, I'm not saying he got in front of a he got in front of a crowd and, on a podium and a microphone in New York City and said, "Oh, well, I support ISIS." I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he was investigated for publicly supporting ISIS. And there are plenty of people who do that. But if you're suspected for that and you outright say it, why were the investigations halted? I mean, unless someone, I'm going to assume that what I'm saying right now is correct because that's what I read, and unless someone can present me with an alternate reason why they were investigated, if he made the statements, it's logical to me that either they just backed off the guy, or this guy should not have been able to get the guns because he should have been continued on investigation. If I am correct in the reasoning for his investigation, do you agree with me, Frank?
Hmm?
If I'm correct in saying he was investigated for public support of ISIS, which I'm not sure if I am, I haven't seen anything that goes against that yet. If that's correct and that's why he was investigated, is it logical that regardless of the FBI investigations, he did say those statements? It's on record he said those statements and he shouldn't have been able to possess the guns in the first place? Because he said those statements?
No, he could have gotten them. People say a lot of things. Can't exactly uh, arrest someone on words unless you Patriot Act them, which I'm not sure is even still in effect.
Patriot Act?
Yeah.
What is that?
If you were suspected of being a terrorist, you were taken, I believe, just straight to Guantanamo. No right of trial by jury, all that.
Huh.
I believe that's what the
The
Patriot Act
FBI
is.
opened a preliminary investigation and interviewed Mateen twice. Mateen admitted to making the statements but explained that he said them in anger because his coworkers were teasing him.
Mm.
He admitted he said them in anger. I mean, this still does not sound like a dude who should have been able to legally possess those guns. Sources CBS. Is that reliable?
CBS?
Yeah.
I'd say as reliable as any other news source.
Okay. On this particular one, let's get off Mateen for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there to discuss in relation to this gun reform bill? Have we discussed all the aspects to gun, the general aspects anyway, to the argument for and against gun reform?
Oh. Hmm. Well, they found the 2-year-old.
Hmm?
They found the 2-year-old that got dragged off. Yep.
What are you talking about?
How should I know? I don't know.
Wait, Frank, what are you talking about?
There are witnesses. A couple days ago, a 2-year-old got, Tuesday, a 2-year-old got captured by an alligator.
Damn, what? Wow.
Yep.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
Is the alligator dead?
I don't know.
Huh.
Hmm.
Bad luck or parental neglect?
Neither. They were returning home. I guess just wrong place at wrong time.
Huh.
Oh, it was at the Grand Floridian. It was a nice hotel. Hmm.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, that happens.
Alright, well, I think on that note, do you think we're done, or was there something else you wanted to discuss? We can go for about half an hour now.
Hmm. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
How about okay? Here's something in related to the shooting that I wanna think about here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Donald Trump's response?
Uh, do you honestly think I would care to look at it?
No,
Yeah.
I think you still
There's
saw
your
it.
answer. I did. All I saw is that he had a moment of silence or something.
Donald Trump's response was essentially to say, "Thanks for congratulating me on being right. This is all Obama's fault," and saying,
Hmm.
hinting very strongly that Obama was responsible and supported this.
Yeah. You know what? I'm assuming he also said the Illuminati controls the Senate. Uh, let's see. ISIS controls. Obama's a part of ISIS. He's an illegal. And let's throw every Mexican that's in everyone of Mexican descent over the border.
Yeah, all of it.
Sorry, I don't listen to. I don't really take any account to what morons say. So.
Well, I think some of the public is liking what he's saying a little more than Clinton's.
Well, unfortunately, the public is stupid. They're allowing themselves to be run like a fucking media circus. It's
I'm getting relatively annoyed with the fact that Trump is essentially running circles around Clinton, and I'm not a fan of Clinton, which is why I'm wondering how people even chose her. Which is why I'm also
I
wondering that
I
it's
honestly don't care
illegitimate.
who it is at this point. Just not Trump.
Well, a lot of people tell me I need to vote for Clinton. Hashtag fall in line apparently is a thing. I need to vote for Clinton just to avoid a Donald Trump thing. But I'm not. I'm not voting for either of them. I'm voting Green Party.
At this point, I'd vote for a fucking communist party. This it doesn't
Vote
matter.
for the Communist Party. I'm gonna vote for Vladimir Putin as our new president.
Honestly, the way I see Trump, he might as well be electing that gunman, Amir, whatever the hell his name is.
Mateen, yeah. Trump is a buffoon.
He'll do the same amount. He'll probably do as much damage as that guy.
Probably more.
Mm,
This guy is. I don't understand how people pick Trump. I mean, no, there were a bunch of jokes over in the Republican primary, like Chris Christie and Ted Cruz, but how do they pick Trump?
I said it before this election even began. This one's gonna be a wash. No one believed me. I get the last laugh. Mm,
Did you vote in any primaries?
no,
Who would you have voted for if you did?
not Trump.
Would you have voted in the Republican or Democratic primary?
Probably Democratic.
I wasn't old enough. Some states, if you will be 18 during the general election, you can vote during the primary election, but not in Pennsylvania.
I could have voted. Don't feel like it. So I have to put in that paperwork.
Well, anyway, I feel at this point the quality of our conversation is degrading to small statements filled with silence.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna end
took you
off.
long enough.
I'm gonna end off our stream discussion. Thank you, anyone who was tuning in for this. Thank you, Thin White Male, for being for participating in this through my chat. This VOD will be available on YouTube, so people can watch it later. That's all for now. Thank you all for watching.